Yes, people. Hopefully the microphone is working today. Yesterday, I was going for about 20 minutes and the microphone wasn't working. Why? That's annoying, isn't it? It's annoying. Big up everybody that's already tuned in. I could see Clive, I could see Callum, I could see Jason, I could see Lee Wiskid, and I could see Aziz. Big up my guys. All right. Yeah. First of all, I know the thumbnail says something different. That's for later. As we continue, that will happen. Don't worry about that. I got you covered, people. But I want to do the press conference and all that stuff, if you know what I mean, as we go along, and chat to the chat beforehand, if you know what I mean. So yeah, there's a bit of thing that's going around Twitter about Semenyo, the Bournemouth player, Liverpool believed to be interested, and they are willing to pay around 65 million, which is his release clause, from what I've been hearing. And Mark Gahey's still interested in Liverpool, and we're still hearing that Mark Gahey has given his word to Liverpool Football Club that he wants to join them. I think Real Madrid was around that, asking about him, because he's a free transfer, England international, doing pretty well for himself and all that stuff. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, he's given his word to Liverpool Football Club, people. So we're going to go through the press conference, and then we're going to, obviously, hopefully, Kelk is going to be here later on, around past, and then we continue. So let's go with the press conference. Let me make my coffee first of all, because I'm absolutely out of it. But I'm free. I am not working till next Tuesday, so I'm free. I might do shows tonight. I think I'm doing a show with Hussam and the gang again, but I'm going to do more stuff probably after that as well. I'll try to get some of the youngers in here. We have a late night show or something straight after that. So 10 o'clock, go to Don Hussam's channel. You're going to see us over there again. We're having fun, man. We're having fun. It's a laugh. It's a laugh in the show. So why not, man? Yeah, so let's do the press conference. Let me just make my coffee and I'll be back. Let's go.
Good, thanks. Arno, obviously, in terms of the title race, we can build it up, and it feels like it's a must-win for both sides because of the difference in games lost that you've lost, that City have lost compared to Arsenal. How do you see it?
I only focus on ourselves, and our main focus is on consistency at the moment. So, as you probably know, as an Everton fan, you know that we've lost we've lost a few games, much more than we usually do. So, and now we've won 2. So our focus is on getting consistent and improving, getting players fit, and then we will see where that will lead to. But at this moment of time, it's definitely not the only focus we have is the league table.
What start then does that performance against Real Madrid give you in terms of the level of performance that you reached that night?
For me, but again, I say mainly the same. We've reached that level of performance in other games as well when the playing style of the opponent was compared to that. But we always knew that we were able to do so. I've showed them many times when playing styles were similar that we could do the same as we did against Madrid. But so it wasn't a surprise to me how both games went. It was helpful for us that the other team did what we expected them to do, because in 8 out of the 10 games I think we've played this season, we faced a different playing style than all the games these teams played before. But
the thing is, he's talking about different playing styles. It's nothing to do with it. This is what happens in football, Arnie. is your lack of preparation is the issue we have over here. There's meetings, emergency meetings happening at Liverpool Football Club on YouTube because of your lack of preparation for the opponents. You got to respect your opponents. You're going to get different kind of formations and all that stuff because you set the standards. When you're the champions of England, everybody looks at you. So everybody is going to try bring you down. They're going to play a different formation, which is more like negative football to beat you. You still haven't learned that. You know what I mean? You're talking about Real Madrid. Real Madrid are champions, no matter what they are. If they haven't won the league last season, they're going to win it this season. That's how Real Madrid are. So they're going to play their football. They are the standards as well in world football. So they're going to play open football because this is the way they play. They want to beat you with their kind of way of football. So that's why you beat Real Madrid, because you're both similar in footballing terms. We beat them because we outworked them. We beat them because we was creating more chances. We beat them majority of the time because, their players wasn't up to the standards. That's how we beat Real Madrid the other day. And we deserved it. The 1-0 scoreline doesn't justify the game, to be fair. It should have been about 5-6 goals if that goalkeeper wasn't in goal. So let me just put it that way. But stop talking about other teams and concentrate more on your team, because I'm getting frustrated with it, to be fair. Everybody is, man. They're playing different formations. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to just open up and let you through? Like, come on, man. Work hard, bro. Go and analyze opponents. Make sure your players don't make mistakes. Make sure you sit with your players individually and show them the mistakes they make. Because majority of the players that play for Liverpool, the mistakes that we make is similar to the mistakes they did in previous games. McAllister, what does he do that annoys everybody? Doesn't pass to his players sometimes. He loses possession too easily. And then what happens? They counter-attack, they create chances. What does Salah do sometimes? He keeps running forward towards the defense and he loses the ball, and the same thing happens again. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Why are the players making the same mistakes every game? Because you're not training them like that. You're not showing them the videos, the mistakes they're making. And you're not even telling them you can't do that. If you have to pass the ball, pass the ball. Look at Florian Wirtz the other day against Real Madrid. Salah took a shot when he could have just passed in front of him. Florian Wirtz just went mad. If you go back and look at that, people, Florian Wirtz was, oh man, he nearly lost the plot. He just walked away and threw his hand up. But said, enough of this shit. I'm worried about Florian Wirtz because we should be building the team around Florian Wirtz. This is the future of Liverpool. But for some reason, we're still building around Salah. I don't understand that. That's the thing you're supposed to look at the videos. Because Salah is still doing the same kind of thing, which is being selfish in front of goal. He's chasing goal records. He's not chasing for Liverpool to win a game. He's chasing goal records. Because if you wanted Liverpool to win a game, you pass to the right man at the right place at the right time. And he didn't do that. Avoided him again, took a shot, got blocked off, and he went out for a corner or throw-in or whatever it was. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's too much of the same action at Liverpool. We need to start changing things. We need to tell players, if you can't do what I'm telling you, you're off the team. Simple as that. But we don't do that. It's the same shit. Same shit, man. And he's talking about, teams playing different against Liverpool. Of course they're going to play different. You are the champions, for crying out loud. Every champion gets this.
And Madrid did what we could expect. And I think that's always helpful. Then there's still a lot of work to be done by the players to get a performance like that. But it is helpful. Where I think we can expect from City the playing style we always see, but the difficult thing in that is that they are very good in it and have very good players. So that makes that challenge big again. But as I said, every Premier League game, every Champions League game is a challenge.
Just ask about your left-hand side as well, because obviously Florian put in a really good performance the other night. Is that the way forward for him, playing from the left now rather than the 10? And just checking on Andy Robertson, is he able to go again after starting the last 2 games in a week as well?
I like the way they talk about Andy Robertson like he's bloody, what is he, like 60 years old? Mind you, Andy Robertson is younger than Van Dijk and Salah, if you know what I mean, guys. So I don't know where they're coming out with, can Andy Robertson last? Andy Robertson's 31 or 32 now. Van Dijk is 34. Salah is heading towards that. So what are people talking about? Andy Robertson, can he last in games? What are you talking about? He's younger than both. Yes, he's running himself to the ground and he is and all that stuff. That's his fault. I agree. But come on, man. Have some respect, man. Don't make Andy Robertson look like he's 50 years old or something like that. It's a joke, man. Respect the guy. He came into the team and he's been phenomenal. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people wanted Andy Robertson still at the club. I did say, like, if he doesn't want to stay, he can go. You know what I mean? That's how I saw it when when I was hearing about Atletico Madrid and all that stuff. But I'm not blind to reality. You know what I mean? The guy has been outstanding this season. You know what I mean? Whenever you put him in a position, and not only that, it's the way Andy Robertson conducts himself. He's on the bench, doesn't moan. I thought he was going to be one of those players that's throwing a dummy at the pram. But no, he respected the decisions of the manager, a head coach, sorry, and sat on the bench and let this youngster who's eventually going to take over his position go and play. So stop disrespecting Andy Robertson like that, man. It's disgusting. And honestly, guys, like, I don't like that. I really don't like that, man. But yeah, let's continue. I'll come to the chat, guys. Keep going, man.
He started 3 games in 7 days because he also played the game.
In the last 2 games. Just checking on Andy Robertson the other night.
Yeah, guys, I'll be here for a while, yeah. So don't worry. Just keep the chat going. Let's build something. And hopefully Kelk is going to join us so that we hear from the Man City point of view. I haven't done something like this for a long time. So just be cool with me today, please.
Right. Is that the way forward for him, playing from the left now rather than the 10? And just checking on Andy Robertson, is he able to go again after starting the last 2 games in a week as well?
He started 3 games in 7 days because he also played the game against Crystal Palace, where I also played a few starters, not many. I had to take him off in the end of the game. For me, it felt because I felt he was tired, but we have to wait and see. We had recovery the day after. We were a day off yesterday, and now 2-day lead into City. So let's see where he is today. And Florian can play on more than only one position, so he can play off the left, which he did almost all the time in Leverkusen when Xabi Alonso came and introduced this 3-4-3 system, or the way you want to call that system. And before that, he mainly played as a 10 in a 4-3-3. So I think it's more about getting him in the positions where he's good at.
Listen, I like the way Florian Wirtz was positioned the other day, because what I liked about it is he went to more than one position. He wasn't stuck on the left. Let me just put it that way. He actually went to a lot of positions and was difficult to mark in the game. So when you start on the left, then you go inside, then you go deep, then you go on the other side. The defender, the fullback can't mark you because it's difficult for him to run around the pitch. So you already disrupted what they prepared for, which was Cody Gakpo. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to play a formation where it confuses the opponents, if you know what I mean, guys. And that's what I liked about Florian Wirtz the other day. But it was amazing. Absolutely outstanding the way he moved around the pitch. And long may it continue, because he will get better, guys. I swear to you. He should be the future of Liverpool. He should be the player that we should be building around. And I thought it was one of the best performances I've seen in him all season. Maybe the best, to be fair, guys. So long may it continue, man, because the guy deserves all the respect. Because the thing we always mistaken with Florian Wirtz is we listen to rival fans about what they say about him, and then we fall for the trap. I don't want to be falling for a trap of rival fans. They know they wanted him. I remember when they were first saying, "Oh, he's coming to Liverpool," every fan, like from the rival side of things, was saying, "Oh shit, it's over. The Premier League is done now. Liverpool's gonna get it." All of a sudden, the same fans that say that, they're criticizing him. Kind of weird. That very strange in my opinion. So. Yeah, long may it continue. I will listen. He will improve. He will get better as a player. Florian Wirtz, he's a technical player. I mean, we at Liverpool Football Club, we're a hard-working team. We're not technical team. So give him time and patience, guys. He will come through. He will be the player that you want him to be eventually, guys. I think like we're jumping the gun too early in regards to saying he's not good enough and all that stuff. not a lot of players have come to the Premier League and ever kicked it off straight away, guys. You know what I mean? There's a player that plays on the right wing. Look when he went to Chelsea. Was he as good as what he is now? No. So just give the kid time, patience, and the support that we give players as Liverpool fans, and then you see the rewards at the end of that. Jumping too early is not the way of football, guys. Let me just put it that way. It's not right. He's got something about him, and I believe that he's got a bit of a Coutinho about him. He just needs, us backing him at the moment. As soon as we do what we normally do as Liverpool fans, we'll see the best out of him, in my opinion. So just chill, man. I think people are just jumping the gun because of rival fans, what they're saying about our players. I don't give a fuck about rival fans, man. You should leave them. Don't ever give a damn about rival fans, man. Because all they do is try to set us up for failure. Now, like, we're winning games again. What are rival fans doing? They're crying. They're all crying. Let's be honest. They are. They're all crying now. So let them cry a river. Cry me a river, as they say. So I'm not worried about them anymore. We beat City. We're back to normality. And I'm looking forward to that, honestly, guys. Let me just get to the chat, man. Sorry about that, guys. I don't want to be, rude. While we're saying, please like, share, and subscribe, family. Of course, man. We're on the road to 3,000. We get there. It's no. I'm not pushing you to go, there. We're fine. We are fine. We are fine the way we are. Big up, Clive, my brother. Hope you're okay. Big up, Callum. We edged this 2-3. Oh, we'll see, bro. I don't know. I don't know about that. I was saying like something along the lines of low score, probably 2-1 at best. You know what I mean? Big up Lewis Kid as well. Big up Jason. Sorry, man. Big up Jason. If we play like we did against Real Madrid, we will win this week. Yeah, I think so as well, bro. Big up, Mr. Aziz. Haven't seen you for a bit. Hope you're okay, my brother. Big up my guy, Cop Father. What are you saying? I'm going into this game very confident in our ability as long as we play 4-3-3. That is the thing, though, bro. You know what I mean? I'm having that doubts with Arne Slot. Still, believe it or not, guys, if he's gonna go back to the formation that we know, the difficult formation, the head scratching formation. I don't want to go back to things like that, man. We've got a team that won us the Premier League. Go back to that formation and then build from there. Why is it so difficult for some head coaches, to do something like that? That's what's frustrating me more than anything, guys. It really frustrates me. But yeah, let's just hope he does that. Big up, Copfather, man. 4-3-3 is the one, bro. 4-3. Big up, Gary, my guy. Big up, my guy. Peas red for life. 1892. What year was that anyway, man? Well, were you born in that year? I'm kidding, man. Fozzie, would you think of Slot bringing in Aga or Fidden as part of defensive setup? Aga and Fidden? Not really, bro. I think we're fine the way we are. If it's anyone, probably Sammy Hoopy or someone like that, maybe can help out in the defensive side. But I think we've got enough. Bro. But good point. Good point. Like bringing all the players that used to play for Liverpool to help out with the defensive side. Heitinga is involved. Heitinga, innit? Heitinga, the ex-Liverpool head coach, is available now. He's obviously just being dismissed from Ajax. So maybe we're going to go back there, get him back in, because he done a lot last season. We're going to destroy them. Hopefully, MK. Hopefully, bro. I understand you, but he also finds a team that wins and runs them ragged. Should we play Wirtz at left wing? I don't think he's going to play Wirtz left wing this game, bro. I think he's going to go more of the direction of Gakpo. And don't be surprised to see Wirtz and Szoboszlai as your main front line. Don't be surprised. That could actually happen as well. Because last season, what was our strong point? Playing Jones and Szoboszlai as our strikers, and we beat them 2-0. They didn't even score a goal. There you go. Anything can happen, man.
And we should be so focused on is he a 10, is he an 11, or is he a 8? I think we would like to have him in and around the 18-yard box centrally, or a bit more of the left or a bit more of the right, for him to create the amount of chances he's already created for us.
Just check, Isak, okay to be involved? Or?
He will train for the first time today with the team again. So after being 3 weeks out. So I know that I said 3 weeks ago his preseason has ended. So now it's time for us to see where he is. But I have to come back to those words, because if you're 3 weeks only with the rehab, that doesn't bring you back to the levels he was 3 weeks ago. Although our rehab team is doing an incredible job, but you cannot compare rehab with games of football or training sessions with the team. As much as we try to replicate it, that's simply not possible. So again, I have to say, give him some time.
Listen, it's good to hear Isak is back. He could be on the bench over the weekend. You know, I mean, having the firepower, I guess, Manchester City over the weekend would be brilliant. You know what I mean? Like, if things don't go according to plan, and then we bring him in, like, if we're like 0-0, he scores, you know, the goal to win the game. That's beneficial for us, if you know what I mean, guys. So I like that. You know what I mean? He's coming back, and not only that, what Arne Slot said there, I like, because he said it's time now. He's had enough time, you know, to you know, get himself ready for the season, and we want him to kickstart his season right now. So I like that. I like that. You know what I mean? We can't wait anymore. And not only that, you know, next month we're gonna need him because Salah's gonna go to the AFCON. So where are the goals gonna come from, guys? That's the question, if you know what I mean. So hopefully, you know, the likes of, you know, Ekitike and Isak will have their shooting boots, because we're gonna need them. If you know what I mean. If we don't have no firepower, you know, when Salah leaves for the AFCON, we are in trouble. And not only that, we do need to win this game tomorrow. I mean, on Sunday, we need to win this game. We've got no choice but to win it. 100%, man. Big up, brother Knight, man. I haven't seen you for a bit. I hope you're okay, brother. I hope family is good as well. Only going to back to Gakpo. I can't stand it. He is gonna go back, bro. It is, isn't it? It is what it is. I've got no problem with Gakpo, to be fair, bro. I'm one of, you know, a few that hasn't got a problem with Gakpo. He just needs to sort himself out when he makes the decisions. You know what I mean? You got to make the right decision when you're, you know, going outside, or you're coming inside. You can't keep coming inside continuously through a game, and then if it doesn't work out and you're going again, like, it's just silly, isn't it? So he needs to find a way to not only like go on the outside and the inside, to even like have a relationship with the left side of the obviously the team, which is, you know, McAllister, Robertson, and himself, or Kirk or whoever's at the left back at the time. So if he has that relationship, I think his game will come together. The problem with Gakpo this season, he's just shooting from everywhere, man. You know what I mean? I don't need you to shoot, bro. I need you to create chances too for the players, man. So start doing things like that. Yeah, big up Trudon. This fraud manager better not change the team. I don't know. I don't want to call him a fraud again. I did call him once, but I don't want to call him again. Seeing this part where he whines about the usual things for the yeah, proper LOL. Yes, bro. He's like that, bro. He's a moaner, unfortunately. Please get the comments coming through, guys. Like, share, subscribe as well. I'm waiting for one person to join me in a minute who's a Man City fan. You saw the thumbnail. As soon as she arrives, we'll obviously go to that as well. But we're going to do the press conference first. I want to hear from the Man City point of view. I don't really do that stuff, you know, usually anymore. I thought, let me go back to it today and then see how it goes. This Vin Diesel wannabe isn't off the hook yet. God damn, Trudon. Just take the picture off, mate. Just take the picture off, bro. That's for you, man. Until you take that picture off, bro. Rather than we saying facts, Trudon hold that standard up. Yeah, man. We're Liverpool Football Club, of course, man. MK, we saying, will Isak on the left wing work? Maybe he's played that in the past. You know what I mean? But Ekitike is more of that because he's a youngster that's learning his trade. So we're going to use him in different areas, if you know what I mean, brother.
Thank you.
I know, when you said before about
Rodrigo.
finding consistency with the team, I mean, how much of a boost would it be for everyone in terms of having faith that your troubles are behind you if you can go to Manchester City and get a result to build on what you did against Real Madrid and Aston Villa this week?
Yeah, to make that a little bit more clear, we were actually very consistent. But the thing is, we were consistent in losing. So that wasn't the idea about being consistent. Consistent
that,
doing
man.
the things
Relax,
right,
boss.
which we
Relax,
have to do,
man.
and improving in that way. So yeah, City is of course a game on itself. You could say playing there away from home is probably one of the most difficult challenges you have to throughout the.
He needs to stop that, we business. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't we that lost, Arnie. It was you that lost with your silly tactics, which is no tactics. You don't go into a football season, oh, we've won by 10 points last season. We could have won by more if we put the foot into the metal and all this stuff. You don't go into a season like that, my guy. Teams improve. Teams look at the best team in the league. That's the standard they need to get to. And that's what you forgot. You came in with a Dutch attitude, arrogance. You can't be arrogant in the Premier League, man. One bad move, you're finished, bro. And you're talking about continuously losing. We didn't lose. The fans didn't lose. It was you. The players, it's a bit to blame, but a lot of it is down to you, my guy. You chose to go with no tactics, no formations that even can win you games. We were so open, we might as well just let everybody in. You know what I mean? Pause. That's how bad we was. So relax with that. We lost. You lost. Don't say we.
City is of course a game on itself. You could say playing there away from home is probably one of the most difficult challenges you have to throughout the season. Although I constantly keep on saying how difficult it is to play Brentford away or Palace away. Every away game is difficult, every home game as well, but an away game even more. And that's, I think, what City have felt this season, because they've lost, I think, 2 away games. We've lost away games. The only exception to that is Arsenal, who maybe lost 1 away game against us, but they've been the exception this season, where the rest have probably done similar things. And
why is Arsenal the exception, brother? Because they prepared for the season. They made sure every area that's weak is covered. What did we do? We concede goals left, right, and center. We go up 2-0. Oh shit, they come back 2-2. It doesn't matter if the team's at the bottom. It doesn't matter if the team's at the top. We struggled against Burnley. We scored the last minute penalty against Burnley. That's what we did. Arsenal went there, was it the other week? Battered them. Killed them. Created chances. Scored more goals than us. Comfortable win. We went down there, it was like we're playing Real Madrid, prime Real Madrid. Burnley, bro. We should be ashamed. I don't know when it clocked in your brain that things are not going right when we're winning games by last minute goals. When did that start clocking into your brain, bro? Like, we're in trouble here. You didn't even notice. Carragher warned you. The fan base warned you. Everybody wants you to succeed as a head coach, but you're not even letting us at the time. Now, you've gone back to what we told you to go back to. How long is that going to last? That is the question. That's what worries me. That's why I still haven't come fully around, because I'm still worried. I am worried in case he goes back to that madness. Oh, things are going good now. We're doing pretty well on the pitch. Maybe we have to do that, that attacking formation again and see where we could, if we could actually get it right this time. This is what he's going to do. It's coming, people. People like this don't change, man. People like this are always the ones who wants to prove people wrong. He told me he's similar to Jurgen Klopp. When did you step away from that? When did you start doing some silly football that has no identity of Liverpool Football Club? When? I don't understand. Me and Jurgen are similar, I've got maybe slightly different, not a lot. That's what I kept on hearing. And all of a sudden in the season, we're playing some football I've never seen in my life at Liverpool Football Club. No work rate. Some of the players haven't kicked the ball all season and they still play. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
So yeah, very interesting game to look forward to, because when I wasn't working here and when I was in Holland, I did know when Liverpool was, or where Liverpool City was, and I could tell you I was 100% sure in front of my my television when this game was there. Similar to Classico, by the way.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game though, man. Imagine we go to City and beat them. The pressure on Arsenal. Woo! They better beat Sunderland, bro. He went from Stone Cold to Phil Mitchell this season. Yeah, Phil Mitchell, man. It's old now, isn't it? Old. The Phil Mitchell that used to beat up people is no longer there. It's a weak Phil Mitchell, man, we've got now. From Stone Cold. We used to play the Stone Cold. We used to say, give me a hell yeah for Arnie Slot. I ain't do that anymore, mate. This is all he's going to get. That's all he's getting. He's not getting hell yeah. Hell no.
These are the few games everyone is looking forward to. And if you're not part of it, you're looking forward to it as well.
You think it'll be worth watching again?
I think it's always worth watching because so many great individuals are playing that game. And yeah, these teams, 9 out of 10 times.
I'll come back to this. We're going to get Kelk in 1 second, guys. Just bear with me. Let me just fix it out for you guys. Then we'll start. So, yeah, she's here now. We're going to do the Man City talk. So, just hang on. Yo, what's going on, Kelk? You good?
Good morning. Well, it's morning where I am, so I guess it's good afternoon to you.
Yeah, sorry to wake you up this early. I know I did a last minute thing. Was it last night? I think this morning.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of those two anyway, but apologies for that.
You messaged me. I think it was like 2 a.m. your time or something. I was like, why
Yeah.
are you awake?
No, I do night shifts, innit? So I was on a night shift, my last night
Oh.
shift. So I'm off till I go back on Tuesday. So I'm off all the way from now to Tuesday. So yeah. I thought like let me just message you, see if you're still around, and then we could do a show together because Liverpool Man City is finally here, Kelk. So yeah, of course I want to discuss obviously Man City. I want to discuss Arsenal first of all, because we discussed it. I remember we was messaging each other and all that stuff. And then we move on to Man City, then Liverpool after. Then we could do the starting lineup of both teams. So I managed to, sort that out for you as well. So we'll see like how the game is going to be won as well. It's not going to be a long thing. Don't worry about that. But yeah, Kelk, what do you do anyway? Just let people know who you are. What channel do you have? Do you go on other people's channels like regularly and all that stuff? Just let them know who you are.
Yeah, well, my name's Kels. I primarily stream on True City Fan TV. We do watch-alongs, we do previews, we do ranting streams. We just, we have a lot of fun with it. But I jump around too. I go on other channels. There's a couple of Man City channels I go on. They're pretty small ones. One of them is called We Are the South Stand. One of them is a guy named Al Veracki, I think his name is. I know he's Belgian, so I can't pronounce the Dutch last name. I go on Footy Judge Mo once a week with Foz. That's where Foz and I met, is on Judge Mo's channel. And you can usually find me also on the Football Terrace after for the game reactions for the Man City games. I get the links for the other teams, but I've never actually gone to any of the other ones. But maybe if there's a big loss this season, maybe you'll see me come and troll.
She does troll, trust me, on Twitter. Like sometimes me and her go back and forth, so it's quite funny when we have to banter and all that stuff. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's okay. This season, what do you think of this season so far? Like in regards to how it's gone, Liverpool like breaking apart, and Man City not consistent, and Arsenal. Obviously, we're going to discuss Arsenal. Like they've been the most consistent team in the Premier League with only 1 defeat. And only conceding 3 goals. But are you jumping on board with this Arsenal? The way they are right now.
Yeah, well, for me personally, Arsenal they have nothing left to prove except like getting over the line in something. And so far, they haven't done that, and they haven't even made a cup final. with this like super team that they have apparently. So that to me just shows that they still have a lot to learn. And I know right now they're playing extremely well. The defense looks impenetrable, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting a little too in their own heads about that. Like, I
They
think they're
are.
looking at social media quite a bit and being like, oh my
Yeah.
God, everybody's just talking about us giving up no goals. So part of me thinks that they're just going to keep trying to milk that as long as they can. And one thing I have noticed is that even when they're like winning all these games, I think they're they're exerting too much energy, and that could bite them in the second half of the season. Cause I know how badly like they're kind of desperate for validation, and all of us, we're not going to give them the validation until they get over the line. So they're just constantly seeking it. And they think that by not giving up goals that we're going to somehow start validating them. And I'm personally not like for me, they have to win something this year. And
That's what I said, Kels. I said about them, like in regards to if they don't win the league this season, I think that's Arteta's last. He has to win a major, basically. He has to win a major in regards to the Champions League or the Premier League. If he doesn't win any of them, the guy spent over £1 billion. You know what I mean? I was one of those fans at the beginning thinking to myself, hang on a second. This guy has been here for, at the time when we first met, all of us, he was, I think, 4 years into the job or something like that. I didn't know the amount of money he spent. I didn't know he spent, like 750 million. I didn't know that. I thought like he's been, gradually building this team with less money, less resources. That's what I thought he did. And then when someone said to me, no, bro, he spent about 750 million. I said, what? Really? I said, no, I can't be with that then. If he's doing it like that and not getting, trophies through the door, you know what it is, Kels? At some stage, when you're at a club, when other teams are transitioning, you're going to get it right? Because that's what happens in football. Sometimes you hit the jackpot by accident, like Ranieri at Leicester, because the other teams were transitioning that season. All of a sudden, he managed to win the league with Leicester. That can happen, and that's what I think could happen this season with Arsenal. He just hit the Liverpool falling apart because of the new players that we got. Man City not being consistent, too reliant on obviously on Haaland at the moment. Maybe this is why they're going to win the league, because other teams have fallen apart. Do you think something along those lines? Because if they win the league, that is, I still think there's still a long way to go, though.
Yeah, that could be it, because like they do have a more settled team. Like their bases. I mean, I know they've added a striker, and they thought that would just fix all of their problems from last season, but I don't think it has. I actually think it's made them slightly worse, because you notice how heavily reliant they are on set pieces. Why are you doing that if you have a striker? But the problem is the pieces they have cannot facilitate the striker, because they lack a lot of creativity. I know they signed Eze, and I think he's an okay option, but I'm not looking at him as like a world-class striker who's going to break down a consistent low block and feed the striker. I just don't see him as being good enough for that. Like if they had, somebody like prime Kevin De Bruyne on their team, who I don't even know who that player is right now, but just like an example, like, then I'd be like, yeah, those two can carry a team. But Gyökeres, I think it looks very out of his depth. I don't think they're.
Do you think he will get better? Like, speaking about Gyökeres, do you think he can get better, or are you just settled for him to be the way he is at the moment?
I just don't think the pieces around him are there for him, like in place for him to succeed. Like I said, I really think they lack creativity, and I don't think. I mean, I just don't see it happening with Arteta either. Arteta's a very defensive-minded manager. He's playing with 4 center backs at the back. He's playing with 2 DMs in the middle. Like that just doesn't scream creativity. And everybody's just sitting there, just constantly. Just kissing Declan Rice's ass the whole time, but
they're saying some people are saying like
he's the right midfielder for getting the most out of a striker. I just really don't. I think he's an elite defensively, but going forward, creative wise, he's just not good enough, especially as an 8. Like you need a like if you look at okay, this is going to be biased, but look at what Phil Foden is doing as an 8 and how he's constantly setting up goals. Like he's not getting assists because he's, playing further back, but he's constantly getting the ball forward to the better creator who can get the ball to the striker. And like we call it in America, we call it the hockey assist, like the assist before the assist. And it's also something David Silva used to do very well back in the day. So I don't see Declan Rice ever being that kind of a player. So I think if you're trying to get the most out of the striker, he's the wrong midfielder for me. He's great as a defender. Like, I will never take that away from him. I think he puts the defense in like defensive midfielder. So I've always wondered why he plays further up the pitch. Like, I put him as far back as I could because I just think he just doesn't do it for me going forward. But Bukayo Saka is pretty good at it too. But Saka is already having health problems. Like, he had a major injury last season. He's already had one problem this year. The way that he's overplayed constantly, I think that's going to come back at some point during the season, and you just kind of hope it's not during like the crunch time. And their left wing has been a black hole, and the striker is just. I hear every excuse in the book. Well, he's creating space and blah blah blah. I'm like, did you spend 60 million on a striker to create space or to put the ball in the back of the net? And so far, he's only put the ball in the back of the net against promoted teams. And I think Nottingham Forest, I think it was the other time he scored. Well. And they're like on the chopping block to get relegated. So is that what you signed him for? I don't think so. I thought he completely no-showed at Old Trafford. He completely no-showed at Anfield against your team. He completely no-showed against my team. He completely no-showed against Newcastle. Like, I don't think that's why they bought him. And if he was just like, going to fix all their problems, why are they just scoring on set pieces? I don't, makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I think that luck runs out eventually. You know what I say, Carol? When you look at the Premier League, I've been watching it since day one. So I've been here since 1992. So I know how the Premier League works. If you watch the Premier League, it takes certain, there's parts of the season, things change. If you know what I mean. At the beginning of the season, everyone is trying to find their way in football. Do you know what I mean? What kind of team they are? Are they a passing team? Are they a transitioning team? Are they a defensive team? So you're going to score against everybody because the league does not matter at that moment. And the second part is where teams become more tighter and they want to obviously fight above relegation, find their way, obviously, where they're going to finish in the league because you get more money the higher you finish. Yeah, obviously the Conference League, then the Europa League, then the Champions League, then obviously challenging for the league title. So this is the motions that the Premier League goes through, and I don't think people look into that. Arsenal's doing pretty well in the beginning, but when it's crunch time, when the pressure is on, that's when they always fall apart, and that's what I have that hope. Still, we could challenge them, for the league title and all that stuff. So. Yeah. I think they're doing well. First 10 games. Normally, you don't. I remember, Kells, like in the old days, you don't judge the league in the first 10 games. You wait to what is it like 15, and then above that, then you start see the league balancing itself out. They're not like 20 points clear. There's 7 of us. I don't know how many of you.
There's 6 of us. Yeah.
So a couple of losses, we're all back in it. A couple of draws as well, because a draw is as good as a loss, I believe, anyway. And we could be back up there with them as well. So, listen, you could put all your energy in the beginning of the season, but there will be a time that energy will run out, and you'll go in a bad form. And this is where other teams have to pounce on that. I think it's just too early for people to judge things, man. And I like what they're doing. It's a good tactics, winning games with set pieces. But teams will find you out. For example, you look at the Liverpool Man City game. Sorry, the Liverpool Arsenal game earlier this season at Anfield. Why did we beat them? Because we countered their set pieces and everything else they've done. So what we did was, Kels, each time they took a corner, instead of leaving them on the back, they're in the back post, about 4 or 5 of them. What we did was we man marked them. So when you man mark them, they can't move. So if teams do things like that, can you imagine the joy you could get against them? Because they need a set piece to get themselves going. Can you imagine if teams started doing that, smartening up on things like that?
Well, we did the same thing to them at the Emirates. Like we took away their corners. They did score a goal at the end. Unfortunately, we were lacking fitness at that time because people forget that City didn't have a preseason. They did like one game because we had the Club World Cup and players needed rest, so we just gave up on the preseason to give people the rest they needed because a lot of players played a lot of minutes last season. So when we went to the Emirates, we almost beat them. We transitioned on them. Everyone talks about, they've only given it 3 goals. Well, guess who they gave up one of those to? It was Erling Haaland, of course, who's scoring on everyone. But I think our game plan was sound. That's how you beat Arsenal. You beat that. You low block them because they're not, like I've said, they're not creative, and then you take away their set pieces, and they're really going to struggle. And unfortunately, my team just ran out of gas. Like literally at the end of the game, we gave up the equalizer. Like at the very last minute when we had made all the subs and like, you know, because people are just lacking fitness.
It was a strange substitution, to be fair. It was very strange the way Pep Guardiola done it. I thought, like, why are you going all defensive? You still need the attack to, you know, get the ball away from the defense, if you know what I mean, Kels. But unfortunately, he just went all ultra defensive. It's unlike Pep Guardiola, to be fair. He doesn't really, you know, accommodate opponents from what I've seen of him down the years at Barcelona, at Bayern, and at Man City. He always used to, like, you know, play his football, and he believes in his philosophy. That's what I thought that he was going to go for. Because when you had the attacking players on there, I thought you was a better team. But as soon as you went ultra defensive, that's when you lost, you know, the possession and everything else. And then they started playing those balls, you know, which ended up as a goal at the end of the game.
Well, actually, Pep has kind of played that way before. Maybe not to that extreme, but I think a lot of people forget that during the season we won the treble, so 22-23, that was kind of the year that this Arsenal team kind of started breaking out.
Yeah.
We did the same thing when we went down to the Emirates. They were leading the title race. We went down there, I think it was January or something. We had a game and we didn't necessarily low block them, but what we did is we just gave them the ball. And this is, you know, everyone was crying that season. They're like, oh, well, the only reason they lost the league was because Saliba got injured. Well, guess what? Saliba played in that game and Erling Haaland scored on him. De Bruyne scored on him. Jack Grealish, people forgot about him. He scored the winner. And all we did was we gave them the ball and they did nothing with it because they couldn't find answers then. And so what we did when we went down there earlier this season is we kind of did the same thing. I wouldn't even say we like necessarily, I mean, there were moments we were low blocking, maybe on the set pieces, but like a lot of it was just us giving them the ball and saying, do something with it. So ceding possession. And we've done that a couple of times this season. We also did it at home against Man United.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of, because last season, I remember Liverpool kind of did the same thing when they came to the Etihad last season. You guys just gave up possession. You waited for your moment. You took it. And we had the ball the whole game. We did nothing with it because, you know, we didn't have the players last season. And you guys easily won the game. Like it wasn't even, I don't even think you broke it.
Gave you the possession in that game,
maybe Pep kind of took elements of that. He did that, you know, he did that a couple years ago and maybe he did that again this year. Yeah. Maybe that kind of re-inspired him to kind of employ that. But yeah, if you just give Arsenal the ball, chances are they're not going to do a lot with it because they just, like I said, they lack creativity. They lack a lot. Everyone talks about this depth they have. And I'm like, it's depth and quantity, but I would say a lot of the depth lacks quality. And you're going to need like somebody very high quality coming off that bench to give you something. I think they have that defensively. Like I think their defense is outstanding. The depth there. Like that Mascara guy, what a scam that was. Why did nobody else get in on that? Like he's very good. You know, I think a lot of teams would kill to have like a Ben White coming off their bench, you know, to play in the cup games or whatever. But these other guys like going forward in the midfield, I'm just like, I don't rate them. Yeah, and I've also said consistently, I think they play better when they don't have a striker. So this Gyökeres injury might actually help them because then you see, somehow Mikel Merino just turns into like when he plays as a false nine. I'm like, that's their best system. So I don't know why they intentionally disrupted it for a striker who I don't think he suits their team at all because like he was on a team that countered last season, so he was just constantly running. He had a ton of space in Portugal, and I think a lot of players this season who are coming into the Premier League from outside of it are realizing it's very difficult to play in the Premier League with no space. Like Gyökeres is finding that out. I would say on your team, I think Florian Wirtz is struggling with that. And I think on my team, I think Tijani Reinders is struggling with that quite a bit. They're all struggling to adapt to the pace and the lack of space.
I mean, they're new. I mean, I think people need to respect that. You know, like sometimes when you come from a slower league, you know, wide open league, meaning like if you look at the Italian league, you look at the German league, they've got time on the ball. Time and space. They've got the fans are not on top of them, abusing them throughout the game. If you know what I mean. In England, I'm sure you've been to the Etihad. Everyone's on top of you. Once. They will swear at you and your mom and your dog and everything else just to disrupt you. That's how I'm used to this, obviously, league down the years. And when new players come into this league and they experience things like that they've never experienced before, because the fans in Germany is far away from the actual football pitch, same as Italy and all that stuff. So they're going to find it difficult, especially young players. That's why I said about Florian Wirtz. We're going to talk about him later on, but it's going to take him time, obviously, to understand the English football, how it works and all that stuff. But I'm a firm believer, you know what I mean? He will get better. Look at Kevin De Bruyne at Chelsea. He wasn't all that. Went to Germany, came back to Man City, and look at the player he became. Salah, same thing. Went to Italy, came back to England, and look how that turned out. The two of the greatest players in the Premier League history. So it can, with experience, you know, what I mean, they can get better. And you know, Florian Wirtz is at a football club that's patient. Anyway, everybody knows Liverpool fans. They don't really go against their own. Even if they're playing badly, they'll still give you time to develop as a player. But as I was saying about Arsenal, do you think they're going to win the league this season? Before we end up with Arsenal?
No.
No. Wow. You don't think so?
No.
Wow. I thought like you.
I think they just. Again, I think their manager is just going to get in their own way, and I think right now. I think they're just living on this like high, this like we're the they're just so in their own heads, and I think when some adversity hits, they're really going to struggle because their manager, I think, is the biggest culprit in that. I don't think he knows how to deal with it. He gets into his own head too. Like it's going fine right now, and I just like I said, I think they're way too into the social media hype. I think the social media thing about the league right now is like overwhelming. It's too much. Like everyone's saying that our game this weekend, like, oh, if one team loses, they're out of the title race. I'm like, they're not out of the title race. It's November. Like, what are we doing here? Like, everybody just thinks every game is so important. And I don't know. I feel like if one thing falls apart for Arsenal, they're just going to crumble. And because we've seen it over and over again, a lot of those players still just don't have. They're not winners. Like you don't have a lot of like big time winners, So they're lacking like a really experienced, like older player, somebody who's been in the mud, who can rally the guys. I just don't think they have that. They're all still too young for me. And
that's what I say about. That's what I say about. Who was it? Who was I talking about? Chelsea. I think the lack of experience is that's destroying them. We say it in Judge Mo's channel. We always talk about it, innit? And people don't believe what we say. We say the same thing about Arteta. You know what I mean? It shouldn't take, if you're a good coach, it shouldn't take you 6 years to get to this destination that you're at now. I mean, good managers, they find their way within 5 years or 4 years, and they start winning the smaller trophies to get to the bigger trophies. I mean, he's won, obviously, the FA Cup, not with his team, obviously, with Unai Emery's team, but that doesn't really count because there's different players now, completely different to that team that he had back then. So yeah, it shouldn't. If you're a good coach, it should not take you this long. And not only that, you keep changing things to, like, I don't know with Arsenal. I'm not convinced enough, Kels. It's something there that just doesn't put me, with Judge Mo and all these guys thinking he's a good coach and all that stuff.
There's a lot of Glazers out there, but 100%. I think they're kind of going with the wind on this one. But I think for me, it's concerning they haven't even made a cup final. Like.
Crazy.
That in itself is kind of an accomplishment too. And my team was super dusty last season. We had old people all over the pitch. They were all washed up. And even in our worst season, we made it to the FA Cup final. I know we lost it, but we still got to the cup final. Like you guys made a cup final. Like, why can't Arteta get his team to a cup final? There's always some excuse. Like, he got his butts kicked by Newcastle at the Carabao Cup last season and some excuse. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like that's how you prove yourself as a manager. Like you have to, like, that's a step you can't just win the trophy. You have to take the baby steps to get there. And he hasn't done that. So that's one reason I don't back them to win anything because they haven't put the work in, I don't think. Like, and their fans are just constantly they're just constantly like, they take on all these, like, they create their own trophies in a sense. Well, we haven't lost to a Big Six team in how long? And it's like, okay, what did that do for you last? Like, okay, if you haven't conceded a certain amount of goals or whatever, you've done 8 clean sheets in a row or whatever. Okay, what has that gotten you? Like, they love to bring up the 5-1 from against City last season. Whoa, we kicked your ass 5-1. It's like, okay, what did that get you? Like, we had more wins than you in the Premier League when we were complete garbage, and that's with you beating us in that one game. Like. And I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. I think they're just looking, like I said, they're looking for
attention
validation.
Seekers, attention seekers, attention seekers. That's what they always do, Arsenal fans. You know what I mean? I've even walked into a stream yesterday. I do this video sometimes on here, Kels. What I do is what Judge Mo does now, copycat. And when you're watching other channels and what they say and all that stuff. I walked into the Arsenal fans. I don't want to say their names. They're already celebrating, Kels. They're already thinking like what to buy in Jan, and we're gonna win the league. So they're already saying that. I'm thinking to myself, guys, it's only 10 games into the season. Things can fall apart. You know what I mean? So
I can
how do you know-
imagine a certain channel doing that.
Yeah,
a certain,
you know what I'm
a
talking
certain
about. You know
fan
what I'm
with a fan TV channel. We'll just say that.
But yeah, I think there's a strong possibility they could win the league this season. I think they're in a good position to win it. But the thing that I have that little doubt about is when the pressure is on, can they handle it? And majority of the time, 3 times before they failed. And don't forget, they were top of the league, I think 2 times before last season, you know, for majority of the season, and they still failed. So it can happen again, if you know what I mean. And that's how I see Arsenal. Can you handle the pressure? Do you know, with Man City and Liverpool, they have that experience, of winning championships, big championships, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, and all that stuff. They know how to, come back when they're down and all that stuff. Can you do the same? And I don't see that. I don't see
And
that
we
from
have a
Arsenal.
lot of those players still on our team too. Like I know a lot of them have left, but we still have Holland's still there. He did all that. Foden did all that. Ruben Diaz, he's one of our captain. Bernardo Silva's still there. He can get us out of the, John Stones, Nathan Ake. I know Nathan Ake is not really playing this year, but I mean, that's a solid group of players, winners who are still on the team.
Yeah. We're gonna move to Man City now. We're gonna talk about your football club, Kels. What do you think, like, of the way people are very dismissive of your football club? I say, like, it's harsh. You know what I mean? Especially with the experience that you have at your football club. You still got Diaz. You still got obviously Pep Guardiola as the head coach. You still got Haaland. You still got Foden. You still got Bernardo Silva, Gvardiol. You got all the experienced players that's won a lot of obviously trophies at your football club. John Stone's still there, believe it or not. So why is it so? Like, why are people? Is it because of last season's performance? They're trying to bring it into this season. What is the issue with Man City at the moment, Kels?
That is definitely a big factor. I think people just assume last season, but I don't think they remember some of these lineups we were playing last season. Like, we had back lines. We were playing academy kids with Gvardiol had spent most of his City career as playing a left back, and last season he had to start playing center back because literally at one point we had no center backs. I think people just forget how decimated the team was, and it was just very run down. It was a team that had just kind of lost its cycle. Like, our signings weren't that good over the summer. We brought in like a 19-year-old Savinha. I think it was 19 or 20 at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd had a good season at Girona, but he was the big marquee signing, and then the other signing was bringing back 34-year-old Ilkay Gundogan, and just by pure circumstance, we had to play Ilkay every single game, and he just had nothing left. Like, he was brought on to play like Carabao Cup games and maybe play 10, 15 minutes to close out a game. That's all he was brought in for, and he started, I think, over 30 games last season in all comps because we literally just had no one. Like, I'm not going to completely blame the Rodri injury. I mean, that was the worst injury possible, like that, because at the time he was literally like the heart and soul of everything, and. But I can't fully blame it because I just think the surrounding pieces were not good enough anymore. Like Kovacic, he's a decent player, but he's not somebody you want. Like, if he's starting every game, you're probably not going to win a lot. Kevin De Bruyne definitely was starting to show his age, and then you have to play Ilkay Gundogan a lot. Bernardo Silva was completely burnt out last season, and he had to play like 5,000 minutes. So he just, I don't think he's that kind of player anymore where you can just play him all the time. I know he's an Energizer bunny.
You can see it, his legs. He can't do it no more.
And to be fair, this season we've managed him a lot better. So he is looking a lot fresher, but he's playing a lot, like he's not starting every game anymore like he was in the past. But yeah, I think people just kind of remember that, the back line had a lot of issues. And then we had, Ederson had injury issues, and Ederson has never really been an elite like shot stopper or anything like that. And he just had a poor season. So it was just a lot of factors. Phil Foden had, he struggled with a lot of issues. He had some health problems, but from what I've heard, there's a lot of mental health issues too. And I don't know, for some odd reason that other players kind of get that grace, but for some odd reason, Phil Foden never did. And he had just taken a brutal summer too. Like, the English media just completely, they blamed him basically for not winning the Euros. So he just had some big problems. I've heard rumors of stuff that's gone on at home. I don't know if any of them are true or not, but I'm not going to speculate on that. But the fact is, he mentally, he wasn't there. He had like a purple patch in January where he showed his quality that season, but otherwise it was very disappointing. Like, I was hoping for a lot more out of him because I do think he's one of the best players in the league. And He's showing it this season. Like in
well,
the
he's won the
season
player
before,
of the season before last, didn't he? He won the player of the season before last. I think your treble season, so he was the best player for you guys. I think is when players, young players especially, they don't perform to the standards that people want them to perform at, they always bash them. I don't understand that, because what you got to look at is he was a bit part player with in the time when you guys were winning. He wasn't like a complete player at that time, because De Bruyne was there, Gundogan, all these guys,
David Silva when he came up,
David,
like he's not breaking into that lineup.
Yeah,
Bernardo Silva was there too, like Ilkay Gundogan,
so
like these were
you
prime
can't
players.
really blame him, you know what I mean? Because he was just improving as a player. Now, obviously, he has to step up because he is the main man, now with Haaland and the rest of the players. But this season, I thought he's been good this season. I don't know why people are still like knocking Phil Foden. Like when he plays, he turns up. If you know what I mean, and it doesn't matter the game now. Like I remember, he only used to turn up for certain games when he was younger. You know what I mean, and he disappears in majority of the games. But now it looks like he's taking responsibility. It's like a leadership that's come on him now, Kels. And I like what I see. But when you talk about England, it's a different story. There's great players that failed at England. Glenn Hoddle, you know what I mean? John Barnes at Liverpool. They wasn't good at England because the formation England plays is not the same as the formation that they play at club football, if you know what I mean. So they're always gonna, unless you cater to that player, build a team around him the way he plays, it's not always going to be rosy. It's always going to be tough for players, if you know what I mean. So just got to, listen, you're the main player at Man City, you're not the main player at England. So it's two different things. So it's always going to be a struggle at the end of the day. But with Man City this season, the only thing I've got with you guys is the consistency is not there at the moment. Do you think you'll find that as time goes on, or is this it for this season and then you're going to build towards next season? I don't know if Pep Guardiola is going to be there next season, but if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he is. He's still under contract next season, so he'll be there next season, unless for some odd reason he walks away. I don't know why he would. He looks very excited right now. Like I think he's really having fun, like managing these players, and he's teaching lessons to like he's building new players. Like, I think the reason you're seeing the inconsistency kind of early in the season is like, we kind of have this problem where a lot of our players are kind of close to 30, and then a lot of them are close to 20. There's not a whole lot that are in like that 26 to 28, 29 range.
Yeah.
It's basically like Ruben Diaz, Mateus Nunes, and Rodri, who hasn't played a lot this season. So a lot of players are lacking some experience. Like both of the wingers are very young. Like all three players that we played on the wing this season, Savinho, Oscar Bob, and Jeremy Doku, like primarily just because like the other two have been injured. Like they're very young and inexperienced, and like Savinho definitely I thought he had a decent debut season for the club. Like he provided quite a few assists, but he's not good in front of goal at all. He lacks confidence. Jeremy Doku has been very inconsistent. We have a brand new midfield basically because like Phil Foden's been like he's staked his claim. Like Phil Foden is like I think he's solidly established himself as our 8. But for a lot of the season, Tijani Reinders was playing as an 8, and he's a more experienced player age-wise, but like on a Man City midfield, which is a very difficult position in football. Like Judge Mo has said this. I'll give him credit for that. He says it's very rare that somebody just walks into a pet midfield and just hits it right off the bat. And you're seeing that. Tijani's definitely been very inconsistent. He had a very good debut, and that kind of gassed me up. I was like, he's going to be the signing of the season, and he's great. And he struggled since then, although he's looked a lot better in the European games. But I think a lot of that is just because they have more space. Like he had 2 assists versus Dortmund, but Dortmund were not they weren't like playing man to man or anything like that. They were just like it was wide open. So he's found some success in those games. But also a big problem is like we just haven't had Rodri this season. Really, he played early on for a few games. I think Pep completely mismanaged him because he played him in 3 really he played him against United, he played him against Napoli and at the Emirates, 3 games in like 7 days, and I think that was too much. And then he had pain in his knee, and then he'd take a few days off. So it's been very like inconsistent in the middle of the pitch. Like the lineups changed quite a bit. You have Bernardo Silva in there a lot, but we have seen an emergence. I think somebody who's going really under the radar is Nico Gonzalez. He
Yeah.
came as kind of a decent. I think he was like 50 million. I don't remember what it was.
I
He
think- I
signed
think-
at
I
the
think-
end
I
of
think
the
people-
January transfer
Yeah,
window.
I think people are not sure about him because of the beginning of the season. I think he was
Yeah.
tempted of leaving or something. Someone said that he was going to leave or something like that, and he didn't want to be at Man City anymore. That's why people have that, that with him. But I honestly think he's been phenomenal this season. You know what I mean? Especially Rodri keeps breaking down every time he comes back. If you know what I mean? But he's been covering that position pretty well. You know what I mean? If he's the future, you know what I mean, he could learn under Rodri and then, take over eventually, as Rodri did with Fernandinho before, and before that with Yaya Torres and all that stuff. So yeah, I think he's been under the radar 100%. I think he's
People
great.
don't want to mention him as being one of
Nah,
the
nah,
better
nah.
midfielders in the league, but he really has, and he's really come into his own the past. I would say even past like 5 to 8 games. Like the beginning of the season, I don't think he was playing very well because Rodri didn't start the season. Rodri missed the first. Like I think he came off the bench in the Spurs game. He missed the Wolves game.
Yeah.
I thought Nico G was actually very poor in that Spurs game, but yeah, he was going against João Palhinha, very experienced like defensive player who can get under your skin, and and that can happen to anybody. So, but his improvement, like in the past couple of weeks, has just been remarkable. Like, there's talk in our fan base saying, there's a heavy debate about like if Rodri's available, should he even start against Liverpool? I think his health is going to kind of prevent that because he wasn't even in the squad versus Dortmund on Wednesday. But this is the first time like ever that I've actually been like, okay, I don't think we're going to lose if we don't have Rodri. Whereas for 2 straight seasons, we people forget in the 4-peat season, the only games we lost that season were games that Rodri didn't play. Every other game we drew or won. Like that's how insane he was that season.
Yeah. I think last season before this ACL injury, I guess.
Yeah, the 4-peat season.
I thought that you guys were doing well with him in the team, and then as soon as he came off, I think you just fell apart after that. Sometimes the anchor of the midfield is the most important bit because if you got someone that's secure in that area that keeps the team ticking, that gives you more wins. If you know what I mean. If you look at us this season, why did we lose those games that we lost? Because we had no anchor in midfield. I mean, I think Gravenberch was injured for all the losses that we had. So it shows when you have that person that's keeping that area safe for everybody, keeps moving the ball about as well, doesn't lose possession that much, and doesn't put your team under danger. It helps a lot. And I think last season when he came off against Arsenal, Man City didn't look the same after that. I thought like you guys just fell apart, and he was losing left, right, and center to everybody. It didn't even matter if it was the bottom team or the top team. You were still losing to everybody last season because of him not being there. And I honestly think with Rodri at the moment, don't rush him back. Just let him, slowly get back to what he was before. Because if you keep rushing players back, obviously they're going to keep breaking, and that's what's been happening to him recently. And I feel sorry for him. You know what I mean? I'm not a Man City fan. I'm not a Man City lover, but I'm a football lover. You know what I mean? When I see great players, I have to commend them for what the job to do. If you know what I mean. And with him being on top form, I thought you guys were a better team even last season. To be fair, it's just when he came off, you guys fell apart.
Yeah, and I just think the 6 in general, like especially under Pep Guardiola, like I think being a 6 under Pep is the hardest position in football because there's just so much. You have to have skills, but you have to have the intelligence. That's the hardest thing.
Patience,
the intelligence.
Well. Yeah.
And I think there's no coincidence that the 6s that Pep has kind of been the manager for are thought of as some of the all-time greats, like Sergio Busquets, Joshua Kimmich, Fernandinho, Rodri. Like these are elite, like World Cup winning, Ballon d'Or winning, like just people. The debate is who's the best DM of all time. The conversation starts with Busquets, and a lot of that is due to Pep's like mentoring.
Makelele, you could say Makelele, you could say Kante as well.
Kante, he'll be up there for defensive reasons. Yeah,
Lothar Matthäus back in the day, who dropped into a DM midfield. Graham Souness at Liverpool, nobody messed with that guy. Roy Keane, there's so many. There's Patrick Vieira at Arsenal. So there is a lot of DMs. Even Deschamps, the French manager, he was a ball carrier, obviously DM. You know what it is, Kels? I watch modern day football and I watch the past football. I think there's 2 different things. People confuse the football because unfortunately we're in the stats era. They judge players on stats in the modern day, not eye test. You know what I mean? I used to watch every league in the world when I was a younger kid, and I've seen great players, around that time. You know what I mean? They're giving me in the modern day, Cole Palmer is better than Zidane because he's got better stats.
Yeah.
That should not be, come on, man. Like, that doesn't compute at all. If someone says to you, who's better, Cole Palmer or Zidane, who are you going to say? Everybody's going to say Zidane.
Everyone
Because
says Zidane.
Zidane has got no stats. If you look at Zidane's stats, that when he used to play, he had complete, it didn't exist because his stats were rubbish, but he always turned up for the important games and won the major trophies.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's a world-class player. So yeah, I think people are confused with this stats era, man, and it's really in football. To be honest, Kels, I don't watch football outside Liverpool anymore because I don't have the passion for it anymore. Because when I watch things, it's more computerized than actually, talent. I miss the talent. I miss the art of football, the art of the tackles, the art of shooting from outside the box. The number 10s doesn't exist anymore like they used to. There's a lot of things that just disappears from football and people haven't noticed. Have you noticed in the modern day, Kels, when players get on the pitch and they get off the pitch, you don't see no mud on the shirt. You don't see no mud on the shorts. You don't see no mud on the socks. Even their boots are clean. You know what I mean? This is what we're watching nowadays. And it's sad. Where's the game gone now? And that's what upsets me. Technology is too much in the game now, which ruined the whole, the beauty side of the game. I'm really against that, to be fair, if you talk about football.
I miss a lot of like the hatred and the shit housing and like all the teams, all the players go and hug each other afterwards and let me get your shirt and we're all friends. I'm like, no. Give me this day where it's awkward to get called up to the national team because everybody just hates each other. Like back in the day, like I admit I kind of missed a lot of that era because it wasn't really on TV here.
Yeah.
It's only been on TV in America for consistently for probably the past like 10 or so years, something like that. Now, I mean, and even then, sometimes it was just one game per time slot. Now we can watch any game we want, but that's a fairly new thing. Like, and back in the 90s, like I don't even know if it was on probably an expensive cable package that I just frankly didn't have. So I didn't watch any football in the 90s. I didn't start watching until the 2006 World Cup. That was my first experience watching a football game. We have it here in America, but it's not very good. Like
no.
Watching MLS, not fun.
Yeah, I'll go to America.
So bad.
I know, yeah. Listen, football, especially the Premier League, is for everybody now, and that's the most important thing. That's why we get a lot of fans from all around the world in the modern day because they could watch it, they could finally watch it and enjoy it. They see the beauty side of the Premier League, and that's what's important at the end of the day. But Kels, where do you think you're going to win the game tomorrow? Where do you stand? Like, where can you damage Liverpool tomorrow? I mean, sorry, Sunday.
I think it'll be the players like the wing. Well, we call them wingers. They're not really touchline wingers, but I think if we set up similar to how we did against Bournemouth, maybe not the exact same tactic, but pretty close on par with it. I really like when the wingers invert. Because Jeremy Doku and Ryan Cherky have been like, that was kind of like a breakout game for Ryan Cherky against Bournemouth. He's just so creative. And I like when they invert because then Foden kind of pushes up a little bit and you have three players just kind of running chaos. Like you don't know where they're going to go. Jeremy Doku is supposed to be on the left, but a lot of times he drifts over to the right and Cherky's all over the place. And they're just creating chaos and they're confusing the defenders. The defenders don't know who to follow. Doku has that acceleration that he can just get past people and then you don't know where he's going to go. And one thing that's improved on his game is he can actually like this unpredictability. He can confuse defenders, but he's finally linking up with his teammates. So he can just create chaos to get past the defender and then still get the ball to Erling Haaland. Cause like, that's what the whole system is built around. It's built around Erling Haaland. So how well we get the ball to him is going to determine probably our fate. Because unfortunately, a lot of players we haven't had a lot of other goal scorers. I know Phil Foden has kind of emerged lately, but he is playing a little further back. So unless you give us a lot of space and he can go forward a little bit, I don't know if I can count on him to score a goal. But I think the chaos created by the wingers when they invert and then get the ball to Erling Haaland. I think that's where we would win the game.
Are you happy with that though? Like being a team that does that instead of like a team that what you used to do before, like work as a team and build up as a team, score as a team. The 1-2s you used to do back in the day and all that stuff and get a goal at the end of it, midfielder scoring. Are you happy with Haaland just being the target man at the moment? And you could build to something different after that?
Yeah, I just think we're a totally different team now. We don't have the midfielders who have the quality to play like that anymore. Like during the false nine era where everybody was scoring, like that was the thing. Is the whole goal was to be unpredictable because you didn't know who was going to score. But I just don't think we have those players that like I'm not going to expect Delco to do that. Turkey's been here 4 or 5 games because he was injured for most of the season, so I don't expect him to do something like that.
Yeah.
So that was definitely more fun to watch, but. I thought the game. I mean, I know it's just one game, but that Dortmund game was kind of brought back some of those feelings. That was a beautiful game to watch. But again, they gave us a lot of space. I don't think Liverpool are going to do the same. But at the end of the day, like I enjoy watching Erling Haaland put the ball in the back of the net because he's so good at it. So. If you're going to build a strategy like that, you're building it around the right target man, at least. So it's not like we're trying to do that with, Ferran Torres or someone like that who just can't finish or, I don't mind it right now. It's working. And I think we are slowly starting to see some more other players step up. And there's been other players on the cusp of scoring. They just can't seem to get the ball in the back. Like Tijani Reinders in particular has had probably close to 5 or 8 like shots straight at the keeper or over the bar or whatever. Like he's getting in the positions, and so at some point he's going to convert. But so I'm not quite as worried about it. And I know if something happens to Erling Haaland, we do have Omar Marmoush, and like we lost Erling Haaland for a part of the season last year, and Omar Marmoush stepped up. So I do have faith in that. And everybody's like, "Well, Haaland gets out, your season's done." I'm like, no. And worst case scenario is. Maybe we do try to run a false 9 again. I don't know. Phil Foden can do that. We won a league with Phil Foden as a false 9. So
you did.
You could try to go back to that, but
100%.
I also think our back line has to step up too. They've been mad underrated.
Let me get on to that while you're speaking about that. Do you think the defense is missing Kyle Walker more than anybody?
I don't.
Why not?
I really don't. Right now, no, because
I could explain to you, obviously, but I'm asking you, like, why not? Then I'll explain to you why I think you miss him. But
maybe a prime Kyle Walker, but like the Kyle Walker we saw the past couple of seasons, we don't miss that. He was bad. But I think a lot of people are underrating Matheus Nunes. I'm underrating him too. Like I'm like, get rid of this guy. I didn't like him, but actually turned him into a pretty serviceable fullback. Yeah. And same with Nico O'Reilly. I think he's going mad under the radar as well. Like he's had some very good defensive performances. And I'm like, this guy's an attacking midfielder. And like he rolled up to the Emirates and he pocketed Madueke and he pocketed Bukayo Saka. But Saka did nothing in that game when he came on. Like because Nico O'Reilly was actually defending very well. And Matheus Nunes, he's had a few like bozo mistakes. Like he gave away a penalty at Brighton. But since then, he's been cutting the mistakes out. He's very pacey. Like he's very fast. And nobody will ever be as fast as Kyle Walker, but he's up there as like one of the fastest players in the league. He's been one of his sprints has been clocked at that. And we do have a guy who has like the similar pace, Husanov, but he's really struggling with fitness right now. So I don't expect him to play. But I just think the 4, like Nico O'Reilly, Joško Vardiel, Ruben Diaz, and Matheus Nunes have formed a pretty solid back line. And I think they're playing with a lot of confidence right now because for the first time since they joined City, they got a shot stopper behind them. And I think Donnarumma is also going way under the radar as being one of the signings of the season, honestly. PSG just didn't want him for some odd reason.
Remember when we was telling Don, the Chelsea fan, and we was advising him, get that goalkeeper. Forget about the football, whatever it is they play nowadays. He will get you at least 10 points a season or 15 points a season with his saves and keeping the ball from the back of the net and all that stuff. We said that to the Chelsea guy, but he didn't want to listen. Now look at him, Man City. Exactly what we said.
In the group chat too.
Yeah, he just didn't want to listen to us.
He loves to point out every time Donnarumma makes a mistake, and I'm just like, okay. But he's also saved us in a game. I think that save he made in the Manchester United derby, that derby, like we were only up, I think 2-0 at that point. Yeah. And he made it ended up being save of the month for the Premier League.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make that save, there's a very good chance the team goes on to crumble because one thing the team is lacking right now is they're still kind of struggling to close out games. And we've seen it a couple of times this season. Like we saw it against Monaco where they gave up the lead late. The Arsenal game, they gave the lead late. Yeah. They crumbled in the Brighton game. So that is still kind of an issue that some of the younger players are still learning to deal with adversity. And, we failed a couple of those tests so far, drop points. But And I think if that goal had gone in, that beautiful shot from Mbuemo that Donna just made a world-class save on, I think if that had gone in the net, I could see a scenario where the team would have gone on to crumble.
Yep.
And the fact that he made that big save, and I was like, I don't think Ederson's making that save. I don't think Ortega's making that save. I don't think Jim Strafford's making. He might have. Actually, I shouldn't say that because he had a great game against Brighton. he also won save of the month. So something's going on there.
I think Donnarumma 100% is underrated. I think he's been fantastic since he's been at Man City. And you know with Ederson, what people didn't. I didn't understand the comparisons with him and Alice down the years. I didn't understand that at all. What I used to say is Ederson doesn't, at the time when you had that defense, is very rarely he was conceding any shots. Do you know what I mean, Kel?
We just weren't conceding shots at all.
Yeah, when you don't get shots against it, you're going to look good no matter what anyway. And as soon as, Kyle Walker fell off last season, Ederson just looked like the Ederson that I expected, because this is the one I know. That's why Brazil don't pick him as the number one. So it just shows, man, what defense can do. Like you just said in the beginning, once you sort that defensive side out, you could be a threat, because that's all you need to sort out at the moment. You're just leaking goals, and it's too easy to get at. That's what I said about Kyle Walker. So the reason I said about Kyle Walker is what Pep Guardiola, the system he used to have back in the day, and probably not a lot of people saw, is Kyle Walker doesn't really cross, the halfway line a lot. So when the ball goes over the top, his pace and power used to recover the ball for you guys to make it a less threat. Because, when you put pressure on the, when strikers are through on goal, you see Kyle Walker running behind you, the pressure, you're shaking, and then you make a lot of mistakes, or he gets to you and gets the ball. This is what you're missing at the moment. And this is why your defense has been exposed in the last year or so. But listen, if you think that, so Nunes is the one that's going to stay there and replace him, good luck to you. But I don't think he's the one. But I think you need to get someone similar to Kyle Walker's pace. Arsenal have that now. Arsenal have Timber. Timber does the same thing. If you look at Timber, he covers for the centre-backs when the ball goes over the top, and with his power and pace. So I think you need to go back to something like that in order for you to make that defensive side solid, if you ask me, Kels.
Yeah, I do think we do have that player in Kusanov. It's just, unfortunately, he's been injured this season. He hasn't played a lot, but he has shown that in the few games he has played. And he also did last season. Like, one of his first games for Man City was we had to play at the Bernabeu, and he basically pocketed Vinicius Jr., which apparently is pretty easy to do these days. But
look at
Jr. didn't speak any English, rolling into the league, and like his second game ever is at the Bernabeu. Like he does have that profile. But yeah, again, he's just been injured. But and I think it'll kind of be like a committee thing. I think Matheus Nunes is more. You're going to need him when you need to break down a low block, because he is very good going forward. He has a good cross in the box, and he does that he has really good recovery pace. I'm not going to call him like a defender yet, but if you do need a game where you need to defend and lock down, I think you'll play Kusanov in that. But I do think the plan is to go to market in the summer and try to find a right back. So what we have, I think we're making do with it. And I think Pep has adjusted the system to kind of accommodate the fullbacks.
Yeah.
But Donnarumma just coming in there is also, I think he's putting some fear into these strikers when they go 1v1.
His presence is huge. Is very,
like,
very
I think the strikers are getting nervous when they go 1v1. They're like, oh, I can't just dink it over Ederson, who's gonna do some horrible slide tackle and give up a penalty or something. Like Donnarumma's actually making the stop. So that's been helpful as well. So it's just a complete different system. Like, we had to cover for Ederson's weaknesses by using Kyle Walker's pace, but now that we don't necessarily we can get away with the Nunes because we have the Donnarumma as like the wall at the back. And
100%.
He's been very good.
What's your score prediction, Kels?
I think we are going to win the game because it's at the Etihad. I think we have to win the game. I could see like a 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, Mo Salah always has a goal, so Mo Salah's going to get his traditional goal.
This is where we obviously moved. Big up Sal, by the way. Big up, brother. 2-2. Come on, man. Give Liverpool a win. He's a Man United fan. What do you expect? What do you think?
He probably hates his game because it's Liverpool and it's Man City, so it's his traditional rival and his local rival.
What do you
He's probably like, I hope the stadium explodes.
That's true. What do you think of Liverpool this season, Kels? Like, do you think that people are too harsh on Liverpool, especially buying all these new players, getting rid of a lot of players, and try to transition this new team together? Do you think our fan base and plus the outside fan base, it's harsh on Liverpool?
I think it's been a very mixed bag because even when you were winning all those games early in the season, I don't think you were playing that well. So
Really?
part of me was not surprised that, because you were just getting all these late goals. Like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams have exposed you like in transition on defense. Like even the first game of the season against Bournemouth, which I contend is still the most entertaining game I've watched this season.
Yeah.
Like Semenyo just absolutely shredded your defense twice and you gave up a lead. I know you won it in the end, but like, I just think a lot of these issues are kind of systematic.
Yeah.
Like we saw
Okay.
Newcastle do the same thing. Again, they lost at the end. Also a very entertaining game. Like after those first two games, I was like, y'all need a defibrillator. Like you're going to be in for a long season. And then you were able to finesse Arsenal. I think you played very well in that game.
Yeah.
And you were able to finesse a set piece, which is, I love it. You beat them on a set piece.
It's crazy,
took
isn't
it to a set piece FC. But yeah, it has been a struggle to integrate a lot of these new players in.
Yep.
And losing some experience and also some of your experienced players, like whether everybody, whether people want to believe it or not, but father time does come for everyone. And you kind of see the age starting to show a little bit with Mo Salah, a little bit with Van Dijk. I do think the system has been kind of exposing him too.
Yeah.
And I think the fullbacks have just been not like they're more wing backs than fullbacks. And so that, when they're being asked to defend, I think they're struggling with it. And also Frimpong's had a whole bunch of health injury or health issues. I know he's injured right now. And I just think like the system was kind of, I feel like you were missing that buildup that Trent brought.
Yeah.
And I think you haven't been creating a whole lot of chances at certain games. Like you'll go long spells of the game where you just don't create anything and you look very easy to defend against.
Yeah.
But Slot seems to have found like the balance again. And it turns out he just had to revert back to last season. And it's been hard because you haven't been able to play the new players. And so I think the expectations was really high because when you spend that amount of money, I think people just are, they're just like, well, this has to work immediately. And people just realize it takes time. Two, some of these players are still younger and they are still developing. Like Kirk has had his one breakout season at Bournemouth, but like taking the next step up to a Liverpool level is like, that's a big step. And to expect him to slot in so seamlessly, I think was a little naive.
Yeah.
And Frimpong, same thing. I know he had, a good run at Leverkusen, but still a young player and not a defender at all. I think sometimes the manager doesn't know what to do with him. And also I think, like just shoving Florian Wirtz in the midfield, I think just it upset the balance. Like Szoboszlai had to go play at right back just to get him in the pitch. And he's best when he's in the middle of the pitch, Szoboszlai. So the fact that Slot is kind of seeing that reverting back to it, I think he's just going to have to start over and he's just going to have to spend the season trying to integrate these players in. And I think the whole Isak drama thing, I think that was just like unnecessarily kind of destabilized Ekitike in a sense. Because I thought Ekitike he did slot right in and play. Yeah. Like I brought this up in his example before about like, I was in an argument with somebody about like, oh, you expected Gyökeres to just slot into Liverpool or to Arsenal. Who else has done that? I'm like, Ekitike did at Liverpool. Like he looked great. He was one of their best players the first couple of games. He just fit right in.
Gyökeres and Ekitike is more mobile, isn't he? He's more like a Thierry Henry kind of striker, if you know what I mean. But when you look at,
he can drop back too.
When you look at Gyökeres at the moment, he looks like a striker version of Maguire, if you know what I mean. A fridge, you know what I mean, like a guy who's got no mobility in his body. That's how it looks. But what Arsenal needed is someone that's mobile. You're spot on. Someone that moves around and gives more help to the wingers and and the number 10s behind him. But he just stays up, Kels. He doesn't. He's got no movement. And I'm thinking, bro, you got to move like directions where they could slot the ball for you, no pun intended, so you could go through and go and score. And they don't have that. But with Liverpool, Kels, I said it in the beginning of the season. I think we was on the show together. I think before the season started, when I was asked the question, "What do you think of these new players?" I said, I just hope they slowly get integrated into the team because they're young players. If you're 25, 26, Kels, and you come to a new team, you ain't gonna have a problem. You know what I mean? That's when Salah, Mane, Van Dijk came. They came at that around that age, and look how they slotted in straight away. They were phenomenal. But when you're 21, 22, coming to Liverpool from a smaller club, from Germany and all that stuff, it's not always going to be rosy. You know what I mean? Because the pressure is very, very high. And that's the mistake this head coach has done. He should have just start with the team that won you the Premier League and slowly integrated these youngsters into the team. I know people talk about the money and all that stuff, but the money, is the money important if it's going to stop you winning? You know what I mean? It's not.
That's just the era we're in, man. Like, if you're paying 100 mil for someone, everyone's like, he has to come in right away. You can't bench him. And I just think that's the era we're in. Like, people are just, they just take these things too seriously. They're just thinking, they're just being reactionary, and they're not thinking logically. Like, logically, you'd want Florian Wirtz to just, bring him off the bench a few games, start him in the cup games, like get him used to the pace and the physicality of the league. And you do that just takes time. Like, the reason I'm putting the pressure on is because when Jack Grealish came to Man City for 100 million, like, I heard all the same stuff over and over and over again. Like, everyone was just slating him right, left, and center. And Pep didn't do him any favors by, I don't know why he put him at left wing.
Yeah,
I don't even know why we signed him, to be honest. Like, because he was, his best role was like a free roaming 10 for Villa. I know I was coming off the left, but it was being a free roamer. But we already had Kevin De Bruyne there, and that was prime Kevin De Bruyne too, because that was back in 2021. So he was like, so Jack Grealish was never going to displace him. So I really didn't. So he just gets kind of shoved on the wing, and I'm just like, what? I never got it. And Pep never played him to his full potential. He played a couple of games in the midfield last season, and he was great. And then Pep just abandoned it. And I was like, what are we doing? I just did not. Whatever. I digress. That was last season. I still can't get that out of my head. But yeah, like, I just think there is all that extra pressure on them with the fee. And, at the time it was like, oh, it's a world record signing. And then, so people just have expectations. They're like, well, you just won the league. You're a Bundesliga player of the season. Like, you're just gonna bang all the, like, just because you cost 100 million, that means you're automatically gonna bang. And the reality is that doesn't always happen.
Well, look at Declan Rice. He's supposed to be the difference for Arsenal win the league. How many seasons has he been there now? 3 seasons, right? I think it's his 3rd season now. Have they won the
cup finals?
He was supposed to be the difference, right? Remember, Kels? He was the difference for them winning the league, and he doesn't even play as a DM. You know what I mean? That's what they bought. They bought him to play as a DM. He plays as a number 8. So, like, look how long it's taking those players. But
honestly, I think that's what's holding them back. They don't want to hear it, though. They don't want to hear it. That's what's holding them back.
100%.
He's just not an 8. And oh god, I got gaslit the other day, but so someone told me that Declan Rice is the best 8 in the world. I was like,
yeah, sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pedri exists. Vitinha exists. Yao Neves exists. Bruno Guimaraes exists. Sandro Tonali exists. Phil Foden exists. I'm not listening to this argument at all.
Yeah,
if you're looking for the 6-8 hybrid, Bruno Guimaraes is much better at both phases of the game.
Yeah, he's
as a 6'8", you know what I mean? Like, I think he's way better with the ball going forward.
Oh, 100%. Ramirez
like,
is underrated. I mean, if he was at a bigger club, I think people would rave about him more. I think so, 100%.
He had the chance, yeah. We seriously thought about buying him, but he doesn't want to leave Newcastle.
Yeah, don't know why. It's kind of weird. If you're that age, was it 26, 27? That's your prime now.
27.
Go and you're at your prime. You've done your service for Newcastle. Go and try to win trophies, man. Kels, so who's obviously the goalkeeper is Donnarumma.
Yeah,
so
we're playing Donnarumma.
Your opinion, obviously, who the starting lineup before we go. So who's the right back?
Mateus Nunes. I'm gonna stick with my back 4. Yeah, Mateus Nunes, Ruben Diaz as the right center back.
Yep.
Joshko Vardy also left center back.
Oh, do you like the way Gvardiol is now? Like, he's no longer playing as a left back. Do you like him as a center back more than left back?
I like it a lot. Yeah, I like it so much better because I think he's just better. I love him. He's been very helpful bringing the ball out of the back because, like, that's where Ederson shined. Is Ederson was basically a midfielder, so that's one reason we played that way. The super fluid, like false 9 football is because we had Ederson as a midfielder, basically in net.
Yeah.
Playing the ball, so we've had to completely change it. So that's why I think another reason we'll never go back to that style. But Vardiol is definitely helping with that.
I'm impressed with this kid. I'm impressed with this kid. You know, I'm really.
Nico O'Reilly, he's been so good.
He's a left back, right?
He kind of turned our season around last year. Like I think Nico O'Reilly like single-handedly like carried us to that FA Cup final. Like he just did so well. Like,
what is he originally called? What is he, a midfielder or centre back? Or was he always?
Yeah, he's like an attacking midfielder.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was an attacking midfielder in our academy. So last season was kind of his breakout. He graduated into the first team. I think he wants to, and like Pep has mentioned him potentially being like a 6. I'm
Yeah.
like, I think he just looks great where he is. He's
Yes.
gone in the midfield a few times this season, and he's looked very lost, which I
Yeah.
guess you would expect because one, it's a pep midfield, and two, you're just probably not, you're
Yeah.
not used to it right away if you're playing left back all this time. But I really like how he's kind of turning this position into his own. Like,
Yeah.
he can invert when he needs to, so he is getting a lot of time in the midfield when he inverts into the midfield.
Yeah.
He can also he's very fast, so he can run down the line and be that overlapping fullback, and he has put some crosses into the box. I know he had one assist to Erling Haaland recently. So I really like what he's doing. I think he can turn this position into his own. And I just hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't be like, I really just want to be a midfielder and go somewhere
Yeah.
else and does it. I'm like, no. Pep Guardiola is turning you into a great player, like in a different position. Like just go with it. Just go with it, man.
100%. Gonzalez, DM, right?
Yeah, it'll be Nico Gonzalez. I don't think
Who's going to
Rodri's
be
gonna.
on the right side of him?
I think it's gonna be Bernardo Silva. Yeah, Bernardo didn't play against Dortmund.
Do you guys play double pivot or do you play free still?
I think he'll be more where you're placing him. Like he'll be more of an 8,
Yeah.
an 8 in a sense. But what Bernardo does these days is he drifts back a lot. So he'll provide a lot of support for Nico Gonzalez, because as well as Nico is performing, he is still learning the role. And sometimes it just helps to have like a Bernardo there because Bernardo is so intelligent. He knows exactly what runs to make and where to make them. And he creates space all over the pitch for people.
Yeah.
He helps Mateus Nunes with that. And also sometimes you'll see Bernardo or Gonzalez at times. They'll drop back and become a third center back for like a phase of play.
Okay.
If one of the fullbacks is driving forward, it'll be one of those two kind of going to the back line and helping out in that department. But yeah, I think he's definitely going to start the game because he didn't start the Dortmund game. And then obviously you got to put Phil Foden in there. He's going to be the other 8.
He's going to be like a loose 8, isn't he? He's going to be
he's always going to be a loose 8.
Yeah.
Somebody in our fan base coined the phrase an attacking 8.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely applies to him.
Meaning like he goes everywhere. Like,
yeah, he's going to go everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're going to stick. Yeah, and I think we're going to stick with the same. I think obviously Haaland. I think Ryan Cherky will be at the right, and I think Jeremy Doku will be on the left. And again, they're also going to come in and with Foden, and the three of them are just going to run. They just run riot.
Yeah.
And the reason they do that is because Bernardo Silva just stays back and defends. So it creates like a little bit of a wall, not on a wall in a sense, but also Bernardo's great at dragging players out of position. Yeah. I know everybody, my fan base has quite an issue with him saying like, oh, he's at 300K a week. He doesn't do anything. And it's taken me a while to kind of see what he does. And I'm like, oh yeah, he really does. Like he's like him doing like the dirty work that nobody sees, like that, dragging people out of position. He creates the space so that Foden and Turkey can thrive.
Yeah.
So he, he'll definitely, and also he loves to rile up Liverpool. they just hate him. Ever since the coffee cup, they just hate him.
I think Florian Wirtz is going to be the furthest number 9 in this game. Something's telling me anyway.
Really?
Yeah. I think so, because do you remember last season what happened when we played you guys? It was Szoboszlai and Jones, if you know what I mean. That we played without a number 9 in that game. I think people forgot about that. We had no number 9 in that game, and look at the performance that we produced. So this is a strong possibility, in my opinion, in this game. And you're gonna have Gravenberch
and
McAllister. Yeah. So
I think that midfield balance has been very key for you, and it's been a bit.
Yeah. The reason I say that because it was Jones here and Szoboszlai last season, and it worked. We beat you guys 2-0. We didn't have much of the ball. You guys were dominant in the game, but we gave you that respect, obviously. But we dominated the game in a different way, if you know what I mean, Kels. And it worked out. Come on, you beat Man City 2-0. You must have done something right. So I've got a feeling he might go down this route. But if someone's got to go out of this game because of the physicality of it, it's going to be him, and Ekitike is going to be the striker. Yeah. So that's what.
Yeah, I figured Gapco might start just because of the experience factor.
Yeah. So
he has been giving you guys quite a few goals too.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm not that kind of person, Kels, that trashes players because of the season they had. I honestly think the whole team has been poor. Not him, not just him, everybody, the coach especially as well. So if you're blaming Gakpo for the season the way it's turned out, then you don't know football. I'm sorry, you don't know football. Gakpo
I
is
think,
the only one
it's
that
just
actually
it's in the time
consistently
frame.
scored goals. He scored goals this season.
Yeah, I
He's-
think he's been decent, and I think he just gets a little disrespected sometimes too.
Yeah. Because Diaz is no longer there. If you know what I mean, they missed someone
Yeah.
like Diaz direct taking on
I
players.
think you guys missed that too.
Yeah, we do.
Just having a more direct threat, and I did not understand that. I was like, why did Bayern pay all this money for him? But now I see why. I'm like, well, God, he's killing it for Bayern.
2 goals against PSG away. Come on.
Yeah, he's been
Come
great.
on.
I know.
Where's that
Unfortunately, he's
from?
got suspended.
Yeah, where is that form for Liverpool? Like, we needed that. Yeah, but Kels, I could see us beating you guys by 2-1 on Sunday. I think Ekatike and Soboslai will score, hopefully.
Oh, God. It's always Mo Salah. Always.
I don't know about Mo Salah. I think this is the game he's not going to score in, but I think Ekatike and Soboslai in the big games turns up, so that's why I'm putting my faith in him, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's been a great show, Kels. Thank you for coming on. I hope you enjoyed it, because I don't do these shows anymore. I need to come back. People telling me doing shows like this, but yeah, I loved it. Really loved it. Thank you for coming on. I know you just woke up and all that stuff. Yeah, but let people know
Got
what you want.
pre-travel excitement. As I've told you, I'm actually not going to be watching the game live because well, assuming my flight is not canceled, because we're having an issue with our airlines right now. Our government is shut down, so they're responding today by cutting flights. And but I'm supposed to fly out of the country today, so I'm going to be on vacation. And I told Foz off air, I'll just say it for the audience, but I'm going to watch the replay of the game. And his response is, he's like, no, you won't, because you're going to lose. I was like, oh.
That's what we do. Kels, what's the channel called again? True
City Fan TV.
Yeah, I forgot
it's,
it.
It's Patrick's channel. I've just kind of been doing a lot of streams for him.
Yeah. No. Listen, you guys are a great pair. Keep it up. You know what I mean? Because you know what it is with YouTube, Kels. When you're doing your own, it's difficult. Let me just put it that way. You got to find the time doing the thumbnails. You have to pay someone probably to do the thumb. It's just too much. If you do it as a team, and Patrick is a nice guy. I've known Patrick since he started anyway. Me and him used to do a lot of shows together before. And he's patient. He's a patient person. So I don't think you'll be at a place over there for the long term if you guys, continue that partnership. Honestly, I honestly think you guys are a good pair, and just keep it up. Keep it up, after. Big up,
it's a lot of fun. This is the first season I've kind of been doing shows on my own. Like, because
how you finding it?
I came into YouTube about a year ago. Like late October of last year. And I was just kind of appearing on panels and stuff. But this year I've actually been kind of running some stuff and setting stuff up. And that for me is just a whole new experience. So there's not always the greatest, but we have like a whole bunch of people who do stuff. Like we've got people who do thumbnails, and he also started a second channel, and we're starting to do more watch alongs. This season we're doing watch alongs for pretty much every game. I don't know if there's going to be one for Sunday. I tend to do most of those because Patrick actually works. Yeah, and he works a lot of late hours.
He told me this morning. He messaged me back this morning. Yeah,
he's been working a lot. So
but listen, just keep it up. That's all I can say. Like, no pressure. Don't put yourself under pressure. Don't no arguments, nothing, anything like that. Just get along, and you're only here for one reason. Is obviously for Man City and football. And that's what that should keep you going. At the end of the day, Kels, like, if you haven't got a hobby, you get bored, innit? You get bored. So that's why I do this. It's a hobby for me.
Same.
Yeah, it's just continue.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah,
I just like talking ball with like-minded people, and it doesn't even have to be a City fan. I mean, like you and we had a great conversation, and we don't support the same team, but we were able to objectively talk about other teams too. I don't think we're being biased or anything like that. I think we're backing up our arguments with facts and stuff. So it's just fun to do that.
Are you cooking?
Oh, big up Hussam.
Are you cooking
Even though I call him a fraud.
Wow.
Big up Hussam. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he is. Him and Judge, man, they're the best, man. They're good people, man. But yeah, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Please go to Kel's channel. It's right there below in the description. Just hit it, obviously, and subscribe. Listen, football is for everybody. I mean, we're here for football first. So sometimes, watching other channels and, seeing these great people on there can motivate you. You know what I mean? So just go down there and support Patrick and Kels, because I think they're doing great stuff over there, and I enjoy it when I watch it from work all the time anyway. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you soon, people. Yeah, peace out. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, everybody.